What is up, everyone? Circon here, bringing you guys another review. Today, we're actually going to take a look at the Pantera and not the limited matchmaking tank for once. It feels good, man. So, I've been playing the Italian line for a long time. Like, when they came out, even before that, I free marked the regular tier 8, or sorry, the premium tier 8. I free marked the tier 6, the tier 7, the tier 5, the tier 9, and this one was kind of the last one to do before heading to the tier 10 and finishing off the entire tech tree with all the free marks done, including the premium. So I have several replays of this tank already up on the channel. I might link some down below. I might link some after the video if you want to check out more games in it. As kind of a spoiler alert, I was really close to the third mark here, and I basically decided to load APCR first and then AP later. So shoot first, ask questions later, basically, because we were about 94.5% or something. So I was going a bit try hard on this one. So if you really hate reviews or like games with a lot of golds, you should probably turn it off right now, okay? But spoiler alert, we did make a profit still, so all is not lost. Anyway, let's talk about the Pantera, the P.44 Tier 8 Italian medium tank. So this is all the base stock stats, well, not stock, it's the base stats with all the high-end stuff equipped, the top turret and everything. And there's just a couple of things to note. This is the first tank you'll be playing that has an auto reloading mechanic, which is right in between a regular gun and an outloading gun, which means that you have 3 shots in a clip, but you can shoot one freely, or 2, or all 3, and then your reload time per shell will depend on how many shots you fired. So if you fire only 1 shell and you leave the other 2 in the clip and let the other one reload fully, it's going to be about 8 seconds. And then it's going to be close to 10 if you shoot 2 of them. So the first one will reload in 10 seconds and the other one will reload in, that's 7.8. And then if you shoot all of them, the first shell that you're going to load is going to take 10.5 seconds or so, right? So if you shoot all of them, you have to combine all of these, and that's what your total clip is reloaded again. So that's basically the gist of it. You'll see it in game as well. Overall, DPM-wise, 1900 almost base is really nice. 212 pen is just fine. And then the APCR gets 259, which is pretty insane. And it's APCR, so it also goes at 1100 meters a second, which is really nice. Whereas the AP still goes really fast at 1050. So the AP shell is actually really, really fast as well, which is also really nice. And the major difference between this and the premium, because a lot of people are going to be asking, well, what do you think about the premium? Is it so different? It's basically kind of the same tank in a different look. The one thing I will say that is a big difference to me personally is that the time between every shot, so if you're fully loaded, you shoot one, then you wait 2.5 seconds before you can shoot the second one. And on the premium, this is 2 seconds. And I actually think that's a big enough deal where I prefer the premium just because of that. Everything else is honestly, in a lot of cases, even better on the Pantera. But the interclip reload, together with my aggressive playstyle, I actually felt like it was a pretty big deal. So with that said, though, we have an aiming time of 2, which is really nice. Dispersion of 32, which is really nice. Because remember, this is still stock. Hull armor, at least, is not great. But the turret will bounce sometimes, the turret front. 1400 health, 380 view range base, which is nice. 8 degrees of gun depression, which is perfectly fine. And overall, just a really, really solid tank. So if we then buff it up with all the things that I was using on it, which was a small first aid kit, a large repair kit, and food, and optics, a rammer, and vert stabs, your tank is going to look like this. And also, we can add Brothers Arms to this, recon, we can add situational awareness to this, and I think I even had like smooth ride and clutch braking as well. Now, you might be wondering, Circon, how the hell did you have such a good crew right away? That's because, like I said, I free marked the tier 8, and I put a female crew in there, and then I free marked all the other tanks outside of the tier 10. So I free marked the tier 5, 6, 7, the premium tier 8, and I free marked the tier 9. So by the time I got to the Pantera, and I was using the same crew all across the board, because they all have the same crew layout, my crew was pretty insane at this point, like 4 or 5 crew skills, maybe even like 5 running into 6 or something. It was pretty insane, also because of female crew members that have Brothers Arms right away. So there's a couple of things you need to know though with 380 view range, because as always, I like to hammer home that you want to get the 445 view range. If you're not running food, you can still get the 448 if you have recon and situational awareness and bros and arms. So if you have a good crew, you don't really need to run food, but you know, food gets so much better on things that are auto loading or auto reloading in this case. It helps a lot more than the single shot, just because it helps with everything. It helps with the inter reload, it helps with, you know, it just helps a lot. You don't really need to run food, like I said, if you have a good crew, just to get the few range, which is, you know, a nice thing. And if you don't have recon and you don't have situational awareness, so if you don't have a good crew, but you still have bros and arms, so you have 2 crew skills trained, or just 1, so just bros and arms and then 6 cents and something, right? Because you always want to get 6 cents. Then you can actually supplement food on the tank until you get recon and situational awareness. Because then you still have 444 view range or 445, which is really nice. Which is a nice thing about 380 view range. So keep that in mind. If you run optics and food, you don't need recon and situational awareness to get to the max view range. Running it like this just means you're negating more camo of the enemy team. So you cannot see further than 445, but you're going to start negating camo of other people. So getting more than the 445 view range is actually still really nice to do. So keep this in mind, and a nice little tip there, if you have like a bros and arms crew or a female crew and not much else, then you can just run food on it and still have 445 view range together with optics. Really nice thing, actually. So anyway, hopefully this was enough info. We can take a look at the armor model a little bit. As you can see, the gun mantlet will sometimes like bounce off things, but it isn't great. You should basically not rely on it. And with 80 gains of gun depression, you know, you're going to start looking at the armor a little bit like this, and there is some, you know, some bouncing going on. If you're fighting against tier 6s, you know, your turret will bounce something. But all in all, it's not really something to rely on, right? Side armor is 55, frontally is 116. You're basically not going to do anything like that. But we are really speedy at 60 kilometers an hour with 22 power to weight, even though when we add more weight to it with the equipment, right? Tank diverse is incredibly good at 63 as well. So this thing turns like on a dime. It's really good. So with all that said, let's just jump into the game that I played, like, I think a couple of days ago or so. But yeah, let's check out what we're doing. So, like I said, precaution here is that I will be shooting a lot of APCR. I'm running a 40-20 and then no HE setup, by the way. So if you want to copy me in that. HE is just not viable. And then the other thing is, once you start reloading into other ammo, and this is something I haven't said yet with the auto reloading mechanic, say you have 2 AP loaded, and you're like, you know what, I want to use APCR now, or HE. Then you have to reload from the beginning again. You don't add on top of it. So HE is fairly useless because you have to reload your entire clip, or at least the first shell, into HE, which takes like 11 seconds for 240 alpha, or a little bit more with HE. It is just simply not worth it. So I would just suggest taking 40 AP, 20 APCR, and that should run you just fine. So we're here on Live Oaks. We got a little bit lucky with matchmaking. Like I said, I have more replays of this tank on my YouTube channel with less favorable matchmaking, so I highly suggest checking that out if you want to see this more against like tier 9s and 10s. It's 5-10 matchmaking. There's 2 artillery. We are on Live Oaks, and I'm going to be super aggressive because I know this Lorraine is behind me and the FCM-50T is behind me, so we're going to be super aggressive. The TCD-1 gets spotted in the middle, and so we're just going to shoot and shoot one more time. And we gave him his entire side, so it's easy for him to shoot. Hit him one more time, all of them hit, and now I'm on the really long reload. Now, you can almost say there's a hot debate on like how you should shoot these auto reloading tanks. But if I can shoot someone with relative certainty, I just will shoot that shot, and I'm not gonna wait on the reload. So it's debatable what's a better choice or not, right? So I'm just gonna reload all my shells now. And now I'm looking for the Scorpion G, who was already spotted, and there he is. And here I'm trying to not get shot by him while trying to snapshot him, and as you can see, it is failing miserably, because what I wanted to do was that. So we track him in place, and he's actually on the road there, so he can get shot by my Yak Panther on the right as well, and the Corona Yak Panther on my right. So he gets blasted and almost dies for it. And then we have a weird shot. Oh, look at it, SU! When that happened on stream, I was like, what the fuck is that? And there you can see it as well. So it happens in the replay as well. That's crazy. I don't know what that was. I've literally never seen it. It kind of reminds me of like desync or something. It is crazy. I don't know what the hell was going on with the SU-100. But we have it live on Twitch. It was crazy. I don't know how that happened. So we fired all our shots again because we fucked up 2 shots against the Scorpion. So here we are now loading into all 3, and then we're gonna go for the Leo. We take the hit. It's a bit of a bummer because it is like 300 Alpha. We finish him off. We both get RT'd, and now the P.44 comes in trying to go for the tracking shot. So even though we're stunned, we still managed to hit it, but unlucky for us, he still had a repair kit. Otherwise, we would have had like 600 extra assistance here, right? So if you note the the rest of the map, you'll see that the city we're just losing, right? Because our FCM is here. Clearly, it should be here because that's not a city fighting tank. So we're winning this flank, but their Mod 1 and 65T and the IS and the ONI are all in the city, together with even the Scout and the Medium as well. So we just need to win this as quick as we can. We need to win this side of our side of the map so we can start defending. And this is the reason why on Live Oaks, what is annoying is that you'll never know how much enemies you'll see south. But once you're committed here, and I almost always commit to this flank because it's really easy to defend the base from being capped. We get shot by artillery again, so we're at like half health. The second artillery hits us, and now we have to wait because our driver is dead, our engine is screwed, we are low health now. And luckily my consumables are about to come up again. Thank the Lord that that was a thing. One of the best changes in the game, by the way, to reuse consumables. Holy moly. So you can hear our engine here. I fixed the driver right away, and then in 9 seconds we're going to fix the engine and the tracks again. But you can hear the tank struggling to go forward, basically. Because I know we'll have side shots here, because that Mod 1, as you can see, he's going to dip and dive in there. And the T-71 should be around in the middle of the map as well. And this is kind of where the accuracy is failing me. Usually these shots wouldn't be too bad. And hopefully that one hit, we don't really know. And then the T-71. And again, you know, I could have probably saved that shot, but taking out a scout would have been really nice. But artillery manages to take him out, because I think he went actually towards the Mod 1, so artillery was already aimed there. And here I'm just kind of waiting, because if the ONI gets spotted again or the Mod 1, I have really good side shots there, and he doesn't really have a lot of cover except the one little building there. So he gets spotted again, and, you know, this is just the way I play my auto reloaders. You can see me waving the mouse like, how the hell did I miss that shot? So we're just going to sit here, and I'm going to pump every shot I have into him, just because if he dies, and they only have a 65T and a Cannon and Panther left to tier, this is going to be really nice. So again, we shoot that shot just because we have 240 alpha, so I figure, you know what, the long reload wouldn't matter because we hopefully kill him with that shot. But we get unlucky and only track him, and then we finally manage to kill him off, basically wasting, I don't know, like 4 APCR shells or something like that. So we're down to 5, and now we have to, you know, defend the base. The artillery, one of them moved and the other one didn't, and the guy who didn't just died. And now a 65T is capping, and then there's a T-43 there. The only problem I have right now is that I don't know how much health they have, and I don't know how much health the ONI have. But I'm just going to do my best to spot these people. As we just know, this 65T, he went into the cap and now out of it. We spot him, wait until he's behind the bushes, basically. And then we just give him all the shots. And then the last one is a bit hasty. Probably should not have shot that. But at least we put down 2, and then I'm going to dip and dive. Hopefully avoiding artillery a little bit, so I'm just serpentine. Now hiding behind the bush a little bit, and I'm aiming for the cupola, which you still bounce off of because it was like 250 where I was aiming. It's actually a yellow pen marker with this APCR, not even a green one, so no dice there. There's one guy capping, which is likely the T-43 because the ONI would probably be spotted going into the cap. So I'm gonna go down low, and I'm gonna peek once I'm closer to our cap, basically. So it's not looking too great. They have more tanks than us, and that Canonian Fencer never has been spotted. I'm running here as fast as I can. Artillery nails him for like 544. I actually bounce one, shoot one more, then I get RT'd. I know I can take one hit, and luckily the T-43 doesn't actually hit us. The second artillery shoots and misses. And I know the ONI is there, so I'm just angling so he doesn't have a shot on me. And my biggest fear right now is the Canonian Panther, right? Because of the RT hit we just took, we're definitely a one-shot with the 390 Alpha. The ONI can kill us, the IS can kill us if he has the 122, and artillery will likely kill us as well at 270 health left. Now, at tier 7, the ONI, you know, probably doesn't have full view range, so at the edge of my max view range, we actually get those shots into the side. Track him first, and then we just kill him. And then the IS shows up. I think the Lorraine or the P-43 spotted him there. So I'm gonna head back. It's really awkward because again, the Canonian Panther could be just about anywhere. He's never been spotted. So I'm just gonna go back, and I think around this time I also type into the chat like if the P.43 could like spot for us, because he's literally the only one with any form of health. Like the Lorraine is 44, I'm 270, the RT is always low health. So we really need this P.43 to pull through here, and he's been doing well. He has 2 kills, Lorraine has 2 kills, even the artillery killed 1. So now we're just going back, because at least we know where the IS is. And I'm staying a little bit behind, seeing if I can spot him in the middle. He actually got spotted now. And we put 1 shot into him, and then he actually has the 100 mil and snaps us for like 229. We survived that hit, luckily. We get spotted on IS from the artillery, and now I'm just gonna dip and dive because I know the Lorraine is there, and so I'm just taking my chances here, seeing if I have a side shot. And now I'm gonna try and go for the tracking, but as you can see, we put 1 shot into him, and he knows, and he just kills me, right? Which makes perfect sense. But here's the thing. The Lorraine now has enough time to actually come around. And you'll see, the Lorraine now killed the IS, and now the P.43 shoots the Canonian Panzer, and then the Lorraine finish him off as well. So that is really, really nice for us. There's only 2 artillery left. We have 1 artillery and 2 mediums. Hopefully none of these get killed. Luckily, the enemy artillery misses the Lorraine there. And now it's a bit of a patience game. It's very likely that they're still in the gulch there, right? Where the M12 was last spotted at G1. And the other artillery might be on the K line, you know, K1, K2. And if they're smart about it, this artillery is probably in the city by now. Because, you know, there's still 6 minutes left, but I think sticking into the gulch where he was is not a really bright idea. As, like, I was doing this live, so I was actually checking between myself where I was or something like that. I'm not sure what I was doing in this replay, but we've done 5,000 damage and 2,300 assistance, so we're doing more than well for ourselves here. I don't know what I was checking here, but if you look at the minimap, the GW Panther and the Lorraine spot each other, and the GW Panther actually goes down, kills the Lorraine, and in the reload, the P.43 can now kill the artillery. So the P.43 then gets hit by the M12, and now it's down to the P.43. Because I was like, oh, this is in the bag already. I don't know. I think I was talking to the chat or something. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. The Lorraine died. The GW is here. So here I'm finally following the P.43 again, and I'm checking where the M12 is aiming. And yeah, so now it's just the P.43, who's obviously a one-shot, and then it's going to be awkward with an M12 versus M12, right? So I think this is a wise decision by the P.43 to just go down low here. And as you can see in the chat right now, I'm saying go around and come up at D1. And I ping the map D1. And I think he even says like affirmative or something. And like the M12 says, you know what, I'm aiming there as well. So I told him, you know, go around, don't show yourself, right? Don't go up, just go around, go to D1. Because if he's in a city, you'll likely outspot him if he's not well in cover. And if he's waiting for you in like a bush or something like that at G1 or G2, I think you can surprise him because he's going to underestimate this guy and he's going to be aiming down south and you're going to take your time and come up north at D1. So luckily, I think he reads the chat. He doesn't give an affirmative or anything, but I think he might have been reading the chat or something like that. And so he's going to go around. Let me just speed it up a little bit. So here he is like, yo, affirmative. So he's taking a long way around and then he hits towards the D1. See if we can find the enemy M12 here. So here we go. P.43, he gets spotted, and if we wait, if we can see, he is not actually aiming for us. So if we take a look here, he was actually in a bush trying to spot and then shoot whoever comes to him or something like that. So he was still aimed towards the P.43's old position. And now we're coming up at the right spot, right as I told you guys. And as I told them in-game to go to, we come up at the D1 spot. And then the P.43 actually makes a really wise decision here. I probably would have shot faster. But he waits until the artillery, our artillery, shoots him first. And then the P.43 shoots, which is actually pretty smart, because if you shoot him first and don't kill him right away with like an HE shell, because the thing has like 240 alpha on the AP, then he can kind of get away, right? Like artillery could probably miss. So letting the artillery shoot first and being a little bit of patient there is actually very, very nice. So nice little bit of teamwork there at the end. And I'm not sure if he listened to me or not, but I tried to help him out as much as I could. But yeah, that is the game right there. Let's just take a quick look at the post-game stats here. So this was an ace. You know, we did a lot of damage in this one. In 5-10 matchmaking, we did 5,200 damage, which means one of our blind shots in the mod 1 probably hit, right? Almost 1,600 base XP, and then the P.44 tear almost had 1,100 XP, which is probably an ace tanker for him as well, picking up 4 medals. And then a lot of the team basically did nothing. And then artillery got actually a lot of XP for what he did. Maybe he got like assistance by stunning for like 1,800. And the Coroni Ekpanzer actually did almost 4,000 damage here, so this was almost troublesome. Like, we almost lost this one in the end. And then the detailed report, we made 37k, and that is mostly due to the personal reserves / action personal reserves mission payout thing. So if we were not running these, we would definitely lost some credits here, of course. But we were running this. Also, again, you know, I was close to the third mark, and well, it's not really a spoiler, but after this game, I actually did get the third mark, so the only free mark I have left in the entire Italian tech tree is the tier 10, which I played a couple of games with, but nothing quite YouTube-worthy yet. Yeah, we went a bit try-hard, especially now also with the reserves bonus. I knew that I could probably shoot full APCR, or at least the 20 APCR that I loaded in this because of these bonuses, right? So we still made 37k, which is rather nice. We got a lot of XP as well. 5,000 XP with just one booster. So yeah, pretty nice game. I really enjoyed the Italian tech tree. I personally wish that the auto reloading mechanic was introduced at like tier 7, just so you have a little bit of a smoother transition, because the tier 5, 6, and 7 are single shot, and then you get the auto reloader starting at tier 8. But overall, I really, really enjoy the Italian tech tree line. It's one of the better ones they've introduced in like the last 3 years or something. So yeah, I really like it. In the future, if I have like a really good tier 10 replay, I'll feature it on YouTube as well. Maybe do a little bit of a review. And another thing I really want to do, but I also kind of want to hear what you guys think, is I want to make like a 10 minutes or so video, just going over the tech tree. So maybe when I 3-marked it, even the tier 10, or when I 2-marked it or something, and I have like almost all the marks available to this tech tree, I kind of want to do like a little overview of the tech tree, seeing as this one is pretty small, and it could be kind of like bite-sized 10-15 minute video, just talking over all the different tanks and all that, and what my thoughts and feelings are about it, and not really use as every game, like not use a whole replay for every tank, but just go over it and let me know, and letting you guys know what I think about it, right? So if you like that idea, let me know in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Check out some more videos. Like I said, I'll try and find some other Pantera highlights or the premium tank highlights that they're on my channel. I'll link them right now. Or there should be on your screen if there is any of them, which there should be. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.